Welcome back to another episode of Table Talk with TEDx. My name is Raymond Liu, the Director of Marketing Communications, and I am here with today
Eve Gelb, Senior Vice President for Healthcare Services at SCAN.
Well, SCAN Health Plan, you guys. Check that out. Thank you so much for joining us today. So the name of the game is that we're just going to ask a couple questions, let our viewers get to know a little bit more about you and what you do, and we'll just go from there. Sound good? Awesome. Good. So our first question is going to be, what motivated you to sign up for TEDxCSULB?
So from my office, I can see the pyramid of Cal State Long Beach. Mm-hmm. And so when it came across our marketing folks and public relations folks, they saw that you guys put out a call.
Right.
And they saw that it was about shattering perceptions.
Right.
And what we do at SCAN, what I do every day is work with older people. And we thought it was really important to shatter perceptions people have about older people and about aging themselves. And so we thought we would apply.
Aging themselves, what do you mean?
So a lot of people, talk about getting older as being a negative thing.
Right.
And we hope that people embrace being older. As my grandmother said, it's better than the alternative, which is dying young. So,
this is happening quite a little bit more now. Yes.
Right. So being able to appreciate the good things about aging and not be so concerned about things that you will lose, but really value things that you will gain as you age, and be grateful about being able to age, and to focus on aging well, taking care of yourself and doing things so that you age well.
And for that, what were three couple insights that you were able to acknowledge from your experience working with the elderly and working with this whole philosophy of ageism?
So one of the things that we really focus on is the concept of empathy.
Right.
Because without empathy, we fear, right? If we can't experience or understand what it's like to be that other person or how that other person is feeling, then we're often afraid. And so really focusing on how understanding others, putting ourselves in their shoes will help us create empathy. And then if we create empathy, we're not afraid, we embrace older people, we want to help older people, and we embrace ourselves as we age.
And then what would be your typical client age range? Would it be targeted toward young adults, middle-aged adults? How far?
So at SCAN, so mostly we work with folks who are over 65. Okay. We have a ton of members who are actually over 100.
Whoa, centennials!
Yeah, so we have, I can't remember, but I think the number's over 300 of our members are over 100 years old, and they're amazing and inspiring. But we also have some younger folks because we cater to people who are on Medicare. Right. The folks who are younger are generally disabled so that they qualify for Medicare. So we have folks who are younger, disabled, but most of the folks that we work with are over the age of 65. And as I said, many of them over 85, 95, or even 100.
Awesome. See, and then how would you describe the type of work that you do? Would it be just consulting? Would it be application services, for example, a hospital type of practice?
Yeah, so for the most part, what we do is we help people access the care that they need. We don't actually deliver the care. So the staff that I work with some amazing social workers and nurses and physicians and folks who are about helping people understand what they need to be able to live a healthy and independent life. Our mission is to keep seniors healthy and independent.
Right.
And then once they decide what it is that they need, what their goals are, helping them get their goals. So whether that is about the healthcare that they need to receive, or whether that's about services they need in their home because they want to live in their home, they don't want to have to go to a nursing home,
right?
Or whether it's about personal behaviors like feeling motivated to exercise or to change your diet, or a lot of folks that we deal with have balance or falls issues, and really motivating people to work on their balance, their strength, so that they won't fall, that they could live independently, things like that.
What do you have for example, a typical client, would it be very like simple, like, oh, I have an issue, like I'm looking for solutions, or would it be very complex in terms of like navigating how to deal with it and coping with it?
So it depends.
Right.
Sometimes folks have issues where they know exactly what they want, and
Right.
we help them get it. Sometimes it's very complex because they might have, in addition to their health needs, they might have a lot of social needs.
Right.
They might be isolated, lonely, not have a lot of family support. And so in those situations, it's not just navigating to resources, but navigating your own motivation, your
Mhm.
understanding of what resources are available to you, family
Right.
relationships,
Right.
folks who may not have loved ones nearby, but don't want to be a burden to their neighbors or anything like that. So
course.
it's sometimes just talking about people about how to reach out to your neighbor and the courage to do that. So it's a variety.
It can
Sometimes
vary.
it's easy and sometimes it's really hard.
Wow. I was like, how long would it take in order for, like, for example, like, Tasha is a psychotherapist, right? Like she
Mhm.
has like over time, like multiple meetings. Is it the same with you?
So it can be. Sometimes it's really simple. Like we have these staff that are called peer advocates.
Right.
So they're other seniors and they talk to seniors on the phone about things like falling or
Right.
nutrition or physical activity.
Uh-huh.
And sometimes it's a series of 3 or 4 phone calls where you understand what motivates somebody and you help them and you provide a few resources and then you check in on them.
Mm.
Sometimes, when we encounter a senior who's experiencing homelessness or somebody who is a shut-in or lives in an environment where there's hoarding or other things going on,
Mhm.
it might take a year or more of folks going, to the community, to their homes, working with them one-on-one.
Mhm.
So it depends. It
Awesome.
really depends on the individual.
Sounds good. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Sure.
See, also the next question is, what inspired you to do? Oh, did I ask that question right? See, what is one key takeaway that you would like attendees to obtain from your TEDx presentation?
So my focus is on empathy,
Right.
and I would like folks to see older people as their people.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of somebody different. We all have older people in our lives, but we don't always feel that older people are like us or that we are like them or that we understand them or that they understand us. So one of the things I talk about is the phrase "okay boomer," which really irritates me.
Right.
I understand.
I think I got a little headache migraine from that too. I was like,
yeah.
How do I process that?
Yeah, so I understand where it comes from. It comes from one generation feeling that another generation that has power or authority over them is not listening.
Right.
But in reality, when you look at seniors, the world is not listening to them either. And and people see them as other, as different. And so really I'd like people to leave seeing seniors as their people, as people who are worthy of them caring and listening to and thinking about and being with. And that's what I'd like folks to take away.
Awesome, thank you. See, it kind of goes into the next question. Like, how would you describe your TEDx presentation?
I start with the story of my grandmother, who's the person, the older person in my life who prompted me to love older people.
Right.
And then I go into how important older people are in general to society. People are living longer, they're aging, but they're not retiring. They're in the workforce longer. But as we live longer, we also have more health issues. Folks are concerned that seniors are going to be a burden to society, but there's an opportunity for them to add to society instead of be a burden to society.
Right.
And so I talk about why that's important and that empathy, which is really easy and we all have it wired into our brains, is the thing that will enable us to take advantage of this population as opposed to be burdened by this population.
And going off of that, if you had to choose 3 words to describe your presentation, what would that be?
I don't know. Probably, I hope, inspiring. I hope that it will be short, so and not boring. That's 2 words, but the same sort of theme.
Right.
And then just thought provoking. You know, folks don't ignore seniors on purpose.
Right.
I don't think there's anything malicious in it.
Right.
Like even the okay boomer, I don't think that it's malicious intent. But you know, we just need to take a moment, breathe, and think about the consequences for how we treat people, how we engage with other people. So I think that it's thought provoking.
And do you think that like what you learn or what people can take away from your presentation can be applied to not only just the elderly, but like even day-to-day relationships?
Yeah, I definitely do. You know, I think we live in a world where there's so many pressures put on us, and we have to do so much so fast with all the technology available to us. We sometimes forget the human connection.
Right.
And so whether it is a child, a friend, somebody of a different gender, sexual orientation, race, age, whatever it is,
right.
Empathy and taking the time to, you know, care about other people, be interested in other people and engage with them. And listen deeply, not just for their words, but for their thoughts and their feelings.
Right.
Regardless of who that other person is, I think it helps us all. So
awesome. All right, so this is just another bonus question right off the books.
Bonus question.
Yeah. What do you like to do in your free time? What do we do outside of work?
So outside of work, I hang out with my family and my kids when they'll let me.
Do they not let you on a regular basis?
You know, they got their own lives. Hang out with my dad and my siblings and my husband. And I like to bake. And mostly I like to bake my grandmother's cookie recipes.
Right.
So,
what type of cookies?
So she made these awesome, I call them Granny Jane's custard powder cookies. So they're like little butter custard cookies sandwiched together with jam. And then my daughter likes it when I dip it in chocolate. So it's pretty amazing.
Do you do like a half, like, you know, your strawberry?
Yeah, you dip like the half in chocolate. And then,
Is it a milk cookie? Like you have to eat it with milk, or can you just?
No, it's moist enough that because the jam in the middle makes it nice and moist. So you can, you don't have to dip it in.
Right.
Well, I would dip it in my tea.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Preference.
You could dip it. You could dip it, or you could just eat it. It's all good.
Oh my gosh! Did you have any intention at any point to open your own bakery?
You know, I would love to open my own bakery, but I've learned about myself that I am not detailed enough to like pass all the regulations that you have to pass in order to like pass food inspections and things like that. So like the idea of opening your own bakery is awesome, but like the reality of opening your own bakery is kind of hard.
I was like, do you have another favorite recipe that you like to bake?
So my mom's meringues, which I have not yet figured out how to make them exactly the way that she makes them, but she made them, So
and it's all from memory, like this.
It's just the memory. So my mom, there's something about it, and she would always say that you have to whip it up, just so that it forms these stiff peaks. So basically, it's egg whites. Whipping up with sugar.
Yeah.
And I swear I whip it up the way that it looked in her bowl, and as long as she told me to. But there's something about my mom's meringues that I haven't figured out how to make them. So
it's like her secret pin. It's like
some
cinnamon or something.
Definitely not cinnamon. maybe
secret ingredient.
Maybe vanilla. I don't know. Yeah.
Some love and care. Maybe?
I think it's the love and care, and very disciplined. Like my mom was very disciplined. Like doing it the same way all the time. That sort of rigor. I don't know that I have it.
Wow. I was like, I'm sure you do. We'll see in the next meringue story.
Next meringue
story. Well, awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
That wraps up the interview. Like, do you have any last comments? Where can people find you?
So people can find me in my office at Scan Health Plan.
Or pay visit.
Scan has a Facebook site and a LinkedIn site. But I would like to say that the people at Cal State Long Beach, you and Jahira and Lori and everybody. I mean, you guys are amazing, and you're doing this all in addition to being amazing students, and so organized and wonderful, and making it easy for us. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, so make sure to check out Eve on all of her platforms. Scan Health Plan. If you need any help with the elderly, you know where to go. You're expert. And also make sure to check out TEDxCSULB on all of our platforms on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Be saying anywhere you can find us, please do so. And yeah, we'll be sure to include everything in the description below, so you can definitely just have all those links there. And if you also like these sort of videos, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, share with your friends. We'll be making more of those. And yeah, that wraps it up. We'll see you on the next episode. Bye.